Hey y'all, hey. So you want to learn how to read tarot cards? Come on. But before we get into that, let's talk about intentions and spiritual hygiene. The first things first. Why do you want to read tarot cards? Are you looking to be able to read for yourself, or are you looking to read for family, friends, and possibly clients? Next, are you looking to be able to read with depth and clarity within a system, or are you looking to strengthen your intuition? Because that part is very important. The next part of it is figuring out what kind of tools you want to use. And what I mean by tools is not every card you see is an actual tarot card. There are Lenormand, I think I'm saying that right, tarot cards and oracle cards. The difference lies in the way that you intend to interpret the messages. Tarot decks are 78 cards, which consist of major arcana and minor arcana. The major arcana are 22 cards, and they're kind of like the life cycle from the beginning of your journey all the way to the end and all of the shit in between. The minor arcana are kind of like the players involved, the characters, characteristics, all of the in-between messages. Major, big shit, minor, small details. Oracle cards usually come about 30 to 45 cards and usually have specific words attached to them and pictures for the ones I've seen. Before you pull out those cards and get started, we still gotta cover spiritual hygiene. Do you know what it means to cleanse? If not, listen up. Okay. Cleansing is the process of clearing not only your own personal aura, but the environment around you. So, what that can look like, or for different people, you can use a smoke cleanse, you can use a fire cleanse, you can use water, you can say a prayer, a chant, ring a bell. Research different methods of cleansing to figure out what best suits you, your lifestyle, and your spiritual walk right now. Next, let's talk about protection. Now listen, whether you like it or not, when you get to delving into the spiritual world and doing spiritual shit, you get everything that come with it, not just the glitz and the glamour. Anytime you're doing a reading, you want to always be very specific and cognizant of who it is that you're calling upon to help you with your readings. Personally, I like to ask that my higher self, my ancestors and spirit guides, guide me during the reading and protect me and help me to deliver the message that whoever this client is needs for this particular session. Next, cover your head. You should be doing a spiritual cleanse before your reading and after your reading. And when you are finished, do not forget to thank the spirits that came in and communicated with you and helped you along for that reading. I know a lot of people think that you have to be given your card deck. Personally, find a deck that resonates with you. What does that mean, Chris? I'm glad you asked. This means choosing a deck for yourself that really speaks to you. The colors, the symbols, the faces, the body postures, all of those things play a huge part in reading when you're reading for a client, whether you're reading intuitively or going by the system. I like to suggest that people go in and physically look at the cards so that you can see how they feel in your hand, so that you can see how the images strike you, and you can usually find them at your local metaphysical shop. But my favorite deck is the Game of Thrones. Now I want to get into why I spoke about reading by system. So I talked about earlier in tarot cards that there are 78 cards, 22 major arcana, and then the rest of the cards are minor arcana, okay? Well, the major arcana are broke down into different life cycles and like universal experiences within the human experience. But each card represents a very specific phase, okay? So that's first. When you get into your minor arcana, they go by a suit, which represents an element and a state of being. So cups is about your emotions, about your passions, usually about love, betrayal, things of that nature. Okay, when you look at coins, it's about stability, it's about wealth and that earthly issues. When you look at swords, it's about mental issues, ideas, communication, sometimes lack of communication. Okay. Wands are about action and movement and passion too, but more so about like decisions. And so I'll get into that in like another video, but just crash course. That's what I mean by system. Okay? Now, if you decide you want to read by system, cool. Read the guidebook. That's what they are there for. And a lot of the decks come with really dope guidebooks that give you spreads, so that you can know how to utilize the deck in the same way that the creator did. So that's dope. But now, when you reading intuitively, you are learning how to trust your gut and your instinct. So when you pull a card, you have to, or I say, my suggestion is that you really look at that card and see what it means, okay? So I'm going to just use my favorite deck, the Game of Thrones, okay? And in this scene, this is the Fool, this is Tyrion, and this is from the scene where the dragons were dying and Daenerys was gone, and he knew that he had to save the dragons by letting them go outside. How did he know this? Because he drinks and he knows things. Don't worry about that part. But back to Tyrion. So nobody else has gone in this dungeon with the dragons. He don't know if he gonna get ate or burnt alive, but he just know he got to be able to save them. If he can get them outside, then shit is gonna be straight, okay? Long story short, he take his tail in there. He get them unchained and let them out. They recover. Daenerys pop back up on the scene. Now we on the move. Beginning of the deck. The Fool. New beginnings. Not really knowing like how shit is gonna turn out, but kind of being too dim to realize like how much danger is around you, but being very excited and determined and creating opportunities for yourself. That makes sense. Okay, but enough about the Game of Thrones. Journal. Journal your dreams. Journal your feelings. Journal what you notice in the cards, the details. All of the little small things that stick out to you. How do you feel when you look at this card? What does it make you think? Does it remind you of anybody? Does it give you some kind of weird, funny scenario in your head? Take account of all of those things. And for now, that's what I got. See you later. Bye.